Okay, it looks like we are live, people. Welcome. Oh, I didn't start recording. I can't record. It doesn't matter. It's working. Welcome to Beyond the Frame, everybody. How are you today? It's a beautiful Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody. Today, we are going to be talking with some real people right down there and there. And I've got my fabulous co-host, Miss Dottie San Martin.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
Dottie, why don't you introduce one of our guests for us today? Or no? Yes? Are you frozen?
I am not. Hi.
Oh.
I was temporarily.
Hey, we're live. We keep it real here. There's no do-overs, okay? So Dottie, why don't you introduce to us one of our guests? We have guest proprietors today.
Absolutely, Jay.
Okay.
We're so fortunate today to have Ashley Carranza with us. She has a center in Santa Maria, California. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ashley a number of years ago. She was one of our first virtual marketing manager clients. And so I have a very good relationship with her and know the ins and outs of the center that she runs and what a tight ship they run over there. So Ashley, welcome.
Welcome, Ashley. Thanks for being here. Oh, see, I talked over you now. All right, well, I'll just talk over you again. I'm going to introduce our other guest because he is a dear friend of mine, and he has been on Team USA for several years, has won many gold medals for the United States, which we really appreciate. Former professional bowler himself. We used to work for Bolero as a district manager in the Chicagoland and Michigan and all that area, Buffalo, the whole 9 yards. And now he's living his dream, his long-awaited dream of owning his own facility. So Dan Patterson, welcome to Beyond the Frame.
Hi, Jay. Thanks for having me. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Welcome.
Now, today we brought you guys here because both of you are proprietor owners, right? Owner-operators. You both have a very unique, different perspective about what's been going on here. And I'd like you guys to share that story with us. So let me ask this first question of you both, and you can decide who wants to go first. Well, actually, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
What was your first reaction when you heard the news that you had to close your center?
I kind of freaked out at first because we've done several remodels around here and we've never closed down. We've always been able to open. We've been in business 60 years, and as far as I know, we've never closed down for anything, even for a fire.
Wow.
We're down like a day and we reopened partially. So to have the full center down 100% was really terrifying. However, you know, with the unemployment and the extra that they were giving our employees, we had to lay off 52 employees, which was hard, but we knew they'd be taken care of.
So you furloughed them?
Correct. We've been able to keep on 2 employees, our new managers, and now we're doing a bunch of remodel, and it's actually nice to take a pause and do the things that we can't do when we're open. So we're starting to enjoy it maybe a little too much because we do need to get these doors back open sooner than later. But
Dan, tell us about
the other day you were sharing that you were actually doing painting and enjoying it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I think the fumes may have been getting to you if you're enjoying them after. Dan, tell us about your reaction when you found out you had to close, and then tell everybody why it was the way it was.
Well, somewhat similar to Ashley, I was immediately concerned about the staff. I felt like I was already planning ahead. Jay knows me well and knows that I'm an eternal optimist, and I like to have a plan. So I was already thinking, like, let's say we're going to be closed 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Let's come up and see what that looks like. Let's start talking about funding. So I don't really go into crisis mode. I just go into planning mode. Other than Ashley, has that history of 60 years open. That could be kind of hard on your psyche. We'd only been open 8 weeks. Talk about the dream time to buy a very large facility that's dependent on lots of foot traffic, right? Yeah. But I took it as a different sign of that, you know what, instead of acting like we bought the facility January 14th, as Ashley's saying, let's do a lot of remodeling and the stuff that we wanted to do from an older center that in peak season you can't do. And let's just plan on our reopening being in mid-July or August and figure out how to stretch the dollars until then. So you just have to get your mind right and quick, because sitting around staring at a wall and crying doesn't do anything for the dollar count.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Dottie, why don't you grab on in here and put your 2 cents in?
Yeah, I think what they have both shared is that you take what you've given, and you make the best of it, which it sounds like what they are both doing. And there are so many resources that are available around you. The first reaction for most people that we've seen is the worry about your employees, because we know that this bowling community is such a brotherhood, and it's very it's devastating because you feel that hurt and you feel that pain for your employees and your staff, because it becomes your family. That's the way it was for me. And even when I work with customers now, like Ashley, I consider her family, because she we have this brotherhood because we've worked together. And I think that that has been the general concern of most proprietors is, I feel bad for my staff. And so there's resources that have really helped with that a lot. Oh, there we go. I love your background.
Oh, yeah, you're keeping it real. Shout out there to Kendra Garcia. She's from Copperfield Bowl here in Houston, and David J. Welcome and thanks for joining us today. We've got Ashley Carranza and Dan Patterson with us from Rancho Bowl and from Sabre Lanes, and they're sharing their stories with us about how they've been moving along. Now, we had Frank DeSocio from BPAA on Tuesday, and then and they did a big presentation last week about the funding and the different things that are available from the SBA side, but also from BPAA. And then we had our webinar yesterday with Pat Sinello and Lisa and John Lucido, where they talked about their personal struggles with those types of things. Have both or either of you taken advantage of any of those federal programs that are available?
Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, we have. We signed up for the disaster loan, put an application in, still.
The EIDL, okay.
Yeah, waiting to hear back on that. And we submitted with our local community bank for the SBA loan, the CARES Act, PPP, whatever.
PPP, Paycheck Protection, yep.
Yeah, again, still there. It seems like they're waiting on the feds to actually fund those loans, but all of our paperwork is in. And
so you're in the queue when it's ready to drop. Good. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, same thing. Unlike Ashley, we hadn't been in business a year, so we don't qualify for the disaster loan, but there was an emergency grant they said that you could qualify for, so we put in that paperwork. And then again, we partnered with the local community bank as well, which I strongly suggest to everyone, even if your current loan is probably through a Wells Fargo or Bank of America or one of those big ones, I would go through a local credit union. To me, and from what I've heard from some friends and other business owners, even outside of the bowling industry, they're processing them faster and they're a little bit leaner and meaner. So they're not getting the 250,000 applications a day. They're getting 200, and they can handle that a little bit quicker. So I would strongly suggest looking around a local credit union, similar to what Ashley was doing. I think that's a great route.
Beautiful. Thanks for that tip.
And ours wasn't SBA approved, but they were able to get approved in a short amount.
Oh, nice.
Good for you.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So we talked about like how you felt when it first happened. Share with me some of the things you guys have been doing during this time.
Well, we know Ashley's been painting.
Yeah, we do.
So we spent 8 days painting. We have like 2 weeks worth of painting, and my husband's putting up like reclaimed wood and a bunch of different things. We're trying to find inexpensive ways to keep himself, myself, and our 2 managers busy throughout this time. And 32,000 square feet to paint is a lot.
A lot of,
yeah.
But
GTV is your friend though for the ideas, isn't it?
Yes. And we haven't shared with our customers or employees, so it's going to be a surprise to them. So we're excited.
I love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should take some when you're ready, you should take some photos and black out the part that's new and go, come see what's missing or something. That'd be fun. Tease them
along the way. So when we do open, we can put them on our social media. We can put them in the center. This is what we did during our quarantine, so.
Beautiful.
Very
so
nice.
Now you've created a marketing a marketing effort out of your hard work that you put in, for the remodel.
A story.
That's
story.
right.
We
It's
all
all
like
about
a story.
stories.
Especially about tigers and stuff. Did you paint tigers on the wall, Dan? Or is it you?
This is actually what our bar looks like now.
You're killing me. What have you been able to do over there?
Doing a whole lot of painting. What's that?
Go ahead. Sorry. You were like bottled up for a second.
No, sorry. I was saying similar to Ashley, a whole lot of painting. We're really focusing on our main bar because that's right in the middle of our center with a big open plan. So I think that'll be a nice impact piece. So a lot of painting and then a lot of hiding wires. I think a lot of older centers like ours, I think Ashley's way ahead of the curve here, but older centers like ours, you walk around, everything feels a little cluttery, a little old. New technology has been put on top of old technology. Even your POSs, it's just a big mound of wires. And so bundle those and hide those. And I think it's going to have a real impact on just the overall psyche as far as cleanliness when people walk back in. And I think that's going to be a really important feeling when people come back in, bowling centers and clean.
Yes,
and clean
and that
lines,
effort
like
will be noticed for sure.
Absolutely, that's true. Dottie, what you had a question you wanted to ask, so I'm going to let you ask this next one.
Okay, so I'm curious, what have, now Ashley, I know you are saving yours kind of as a surprise. Are either one of you doing anything right now as far as communicating with the customers? And if so, what has that feedback from the customers been?
Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, okay. I think it was a unique time of year, and I'm sure Ashley would agree that it's towards the end of the league season. So, I mean, everybody was really looking forward to this culmination of their sweepers, their payouts, their banquets, all that type of stuff. So overly communicating with all of the league officers, all of the bowlers that are in your current leagues, that was a very big one. And then, of course, we were getting ready to floor a lot of leagues. So we took the advantage of actually calling our bowlers, emailing them, and doing a few social media posts. But a lot of ours has been focused on our league bowlers and the end of the season. Beyond that, with the social media, BPA did put out some good, funny memes. And some of them are a little sticky, but I think that that's a good way to reach out. It just says, hey, we're open and ready, waiting for you guys to come back. So very simple, took 2 seconds to post. And it just reminds people, we're here and we're going to be ready for you when you get back in the door.
And what was the feedback from the customers, that the league bowlers that you called? Were they supportive and anxious, and
Anxious is a great word, but yeah, extremely supportive. They appreciate the communication, and 2, a lot of them, because they're used to some of the things in the bowling community being very black and white when it comes to the rules, and we know that some leagues have those 18 pages. So one of the common questions was, are we going to have to still pay lineage for those weeks we miss? Well, no, that wouldn't make sense for you, and that wouldn't be a good business practice of us. So,
but if you want to,
right?
If you feel the need to, I mean,
and I think that'll have legs in the long run because they'll know that no matter what happens to them, we've got their back. If anything bad happens, we've got you. Don't worry about it. So I think that was important. So the feedback's been great.
Good.
Yeah, as far as us, my marketing manager, I unfortunately had to furlough. And so we did a few posts in the very beginning. We've been in contact with people that have had parties scheduled, customers. So we've been refunding them, and like 2 weeks at a time, because we don't know quite when we're going to open back up. So parties, different things. The bowlers, for sure. We've been in contact with the secretaries and different things to get them paid back or prize funds paid out and different things. But we could be doing a better job of the social media posts and just keeping people engaged week by week.
Well, fortunately, we've got some tools for you.
Yes.
Yes, and it's nice that technology makes it where we can communicate, and even those leagues that want to do something as a league and kind of, have like a Zoom call or whatever, that technology makes it a little bit easier to do some things like that. So
for sure. Okay, so we've had a few people on, and I make them tell me their funniest story that they've had during this time frame. And we got to bring a little light to this because it's too serious not to make fun of it sometimes. So what is a humorous story that you have seen during the, either happened at the center or to you or because of the COVID process? Anybody have something they want to share?
We're
that
just
you
having,
can share. Let me rephrase that. That's editable and broadcast.
we're just having a good time. I mean, we're standing on bar tops, like dancing while we're
Yes!
Now, we would love to see video of that.
It didn't happen if you don't have a video, I'm just saying.
I got my dog and I took a picture for a post when we're ready to open back up. She's sitting at the bar and I put a beer in front of her, like keeping your bar stool warm for you or something to that extent. So we're having fun with it for sure.
That's awesome. That is
very
genius. I love it.
awesome.
Do you have any pictures with the cats, Dan? Did you bring the cats in the bowl?
Not yet, but you know, Aries would love it here. We did have one of our managers, right when he was coming back from vacation in Florida, and he's a little rednecky, and he wouldn't mind me saying so. He's got all his family in Alabama. Well, when he was in Alabama, he bought an AR-15 because we're in Wisconsin, and they love their guns up here. So he said, because of course he's thinking end of the world when this was all going down, that he had a plan. He walked in, he's like, so if this keeps going severe, I've got the wood, we'll board up the doors. I've got the air fire team, we can get on the roof. And I'm like, this is not the zombie apocalypse, dude. But he was ready. He was thinking about it.
Well, it's good because we need those people in our lives because, you know, you and I ain't going to be ready for that. So we gotta have to remember them.
I'm one of the first ones dead. I'm just running right out the street.
Something else that we did, I got my leadership team, so all the managers, because each week we meet and we do fun things like for an hour on Tuesdays, discuss stuff. And we did a happy hour call where we were all drinking on Zoom.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
I'm open to that for sure.
Yeah.
I think we need a happy hour, virtual happy hour.
We do. With all of our guests, we could just do a beyond the frame. Everybody just drink for a half an hour. I mean, that'd be fine for me. I mean, I don't know about you. I think we'd have a lot of viewers at that point too. We'd have to put up every time something shows up, you have to do a shot thing. Make it into a game. Okay, so if you have one message of hope, if you have an opportunity, which you do, I'm giving you this opportunity to share with other proprietors, it doesn't have to be a proprietor, no. I'm going to change that. Anybody who's watching, they're going to watch our videos because we have, you know, pro shop owners and bowlers and whatnot. It's not just business owners that watch us. There are people that are within the community. If you have an opportunity to share a message of hope, what is that message to them and what would you say?
Right, Ashley.
Okay. You know, we all sometimes just need to take a break and a breather, and maybe this is our time, you know, and so, you know, don't freak out. There are things that you can be doing inexpensively, because I was a little afraid to spend money at first, but painting doesn't cost too much. And the companies out there at this time are willing to work with you with 30-day credits or even 60-day credits. So when you're back open, you can, you know, pay for those things. Also just, you know, tighten down, call all your vendors, call, you know, all your banks and everything. They're, you know, delaying payments and giving you a lot more freedom. And one of the good things with this industry is I heard President Trump say that he would like to put in place that, you know, after this, he'll write off 100% of meals and entertainment for corporations. So I think that's going to be a huge boom for our industry if that does come through, because, you know, as being a corporation, when I take my employees out, I always think, okay, I only get a 50% write-off for this. But if that was 100% write-off, I would be doing that a lot more. So
for sure.
I think there are good things that are going to come from this. I've seen our community, you know, get together. Ourselves and other companies and restaurants are taking food to the hospitals and different agencies. And so, yeah, I think good things are going to come from this. And if we all stick together and we have good ideas, it'll be good in the end.
Thank
you,
you,
know,
Ashley.
I think that's really good to note. Ashley, you're one of the first that has mentioned about, you know, the 100% write-off. And I think that is an opportunity for us that we should, you know, be thinking about now before we get to that point and start opening back up.
And people are going to want to get out and go do things after this. So what's more fun than going bowling?
Right. That'll be a great campaign to run for sure. Dan, you're up. What is your message of hope to everyone? I'm a
Yes,
little bit
to
worried. I'm not
piggyback
gonna
off
lie.
Ashley, that people are going to be antsy and ready to go out and do things that are social. And I know that a lot of people do feel like that they're a little penny pinched, but I think there's a very large market out there, and I'm trying not to discount the people that truly are having a hard time paying the rent and are stressed.
For sure.
I do understand that. But as far as just a bowling center proprietor and thinking about our bottom line, a large portion of our clientele would spend a whole lot of money on the weekends and disposable income on vacations over spring breaks they didn't get to go on. I do think we're going to have a very, very large base of people that have more money in the bank than they ever would have for this like 2.5, 3 month layoff, furlough, all the kind of things. And a lot of support has come from the government with the enhanced unemployment benefits and those. So I think people's pocketbooks are going to be fairly full. Again, not discounting some of those people that really do struggle check to check. But I think a large portion of our market is going to be coming and ready to spend a whole lot of money. I think it's going to be one of the best summers for bowling in the winter climates that they've seen in a long time.
Right. That's a good point you make there, because normally in the winter climate, Nebraska up probably, maybe even farther south than that. Once May hits, it's like
hunting season.
Yeah, hunting season. Yeah.
And like
we
you
don't have
said,
that issue.
Like you said, those people that are used to going out on Friday and Saturday nights and spending hundreds of dollars partying, that money is being saved right now. So they're going to be anxious. They're ready to socialize. So I think you're exactly right that we're going to find that they're going to flood in once we open back up.
I agree. Well, they haven't stopped drinking. We know that alcohol consumption is way up.
I sure have.
So the good news is they're building up their tolerance. So when they come to you, you'll be able to help them continue that.
Right.
I'm just joking. You should never drink more than 1 drink per hour per 180 pounds. I don't know what it is, but drink responsibly.
I'll let you keep thinking that.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Ashley and Dan for joining us today. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule and sharing your stories with us. We have a wonderful community here that I know you're going to make an impact on with some of the positive things you've said today. So again, thank you so much. We have resources that are available to you, to all of our viewers. The COVID-19 resources are on our website. If you go to cubicaamf.com, we have a whole banner there. You can't miss it. Look for the big thing and click on it. You're good. But if you want detailed collateral, things that you can use now to generate revenue, ideas, takeaway, sign up for our blog. The instructions are there also to sign up for the blog if you haven't done so. And if you are living under a rock and you've not seen any of us and you're not sure what the blog is, shoot us a message and we'll get you signed up. No problem. You can do it on Facebook.
As you said, there's a number of resources, not just COVID-19 resources, but one of the things is, what can I do with my kids? How can I keep working and take care of my kids? So there's all kinds of resources and links of things to do with your kids and yourself.
And yourself. Yeah. Dottie's done a great job of pulling that massive list together of anything you could imagine. So if you're looking for something, start there. The other thing I'll remind you is the eShop, the Cubica AMF eShop's open, and both of you should pay attention, because if you haven't set up your eShop account yet and your mechanics buying from the eShop method, I would encourage you to investigate that. Number one, it's amazing. You can drill down by parts and look and think. You don't need to know names or numbers. It's so beautiful. So you're always getting the right parts that you need for your machine. You're not guessing at the numbers or the names. That's what's genius about that. And you can set your account up so that you can only order the right parts, so they can't make a mistake and order something wrong, just FYI. And the customer portal is also a great resource for us, and that's on cubicaamf.com too. Invite your friends. If you are watching us now and you've got friends that will find this content interesting, I want you to invite them to join Beyond the Frame. You can do that right from the website on your own. Ashley and Dan, I would encourage you to invite some of your your employees and your management staff to join. And then for next week, because since this is Thursday and tomorrow is a holiday for a lot of us, and for some of us it's not, which is fine. I think I still have to work. Next week, our topics for Beyond the Frame and our webinars are going to be things like preventative maintenance, how you can be proactive during this time. And of course, we're still going to be talking with more proprietors and getting their stories. So join us soon. And until then, on behalf of Dottie San Martin, Ashley Carranza, and Dan Patterson, and myself, I say thank you. And always remember to stay in the right frame of mind.
kind.
All right, you guys.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have an awesome
Thank you,
holiday
Dan.
weekend
Thank
for those
you,
of you
Ashley.
celebrating. Thank you, Dan and Ashley. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Great job.